Warning, Prospect Watch is not your average hockey podcast, and that's okay with us. Our goal is to introduce you to stars in the making from all over the world. They may not be household names yet, but we assure you they will be soon enough. Welcome to Prospect Watch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of Prospect Watch with your host, Ron Mont. Hey, folks, how y'all doing? Oh my gosh, do y'all see who's sitting here? Are y'all catching this, right? Okay, just in case y'all don't know, and shame on you if you don't, right? This is Ezra Gennello, the voice of the Muskegon Lumberjacks, the United States Hockey League. Ezra, how are you doing, sir?
Ron, I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, man. All right, we can check this off the list, guys. We got to talk to Ezra Gennello, the voice of the Muskegon. Checking this off the list now officially. By the way, if you guys like what we do, man, please smash that like and subscribe button. We would really, really appreciate that. As you know, here on Prospect Watch, we interview and talk to the best prospects from all over the world. And if they're not household names yet, we assure you they soon will be. And we got a very special guest here. We get to speak to the voice of the Muskegon Lumberjacks from the United States Hockey League, Ezra Gennello. And we're going to talk a little bit about Ezra and his background. And of course, we got to talk about them Lumberjacks, right?
Yeah, I mean you're talking top prospects. You got a lot of those guys in the black and gold on the lakeshore.
You got that right, boy. And man, just to let everybody know, we got to witness a couple of those guys and the coach at the 2026 Chipotle All American game there in Plymouth, Michigan. Man, that was an amazing, amazing game there. Blue against white. It was just a great game all the way around. The amount of people that were there, the whole atmosphere there was the buzz there was just very amazing. It was my first time there, and I got to meet you in person,
Yep.
and man, that was just so cool, right?
Yeah, they do a great job. We go there all the time. It's an awesome facility, and getting to see the guys get that recognition. And not every guy in that game was on NHL Central Scouting, so to get them the ability to be in front of the NHL scouts and be the front and center guy was awesome.
Exactly. Even though there were a few players that were on the list that did play in
Mhm.
that game, and the best part of it is about, I'd say 70 to 80% of the players that played in that game are eligible for this upcoming draft in the NHL Springs 2026. There were quite a few guys on there too that were eligible for the 2027 draft as well too. But I wanna take you all back here a little bit, and we're gonna do a little nostalgia here, and the little wavy lines going on, right? Flashback scene. So, Ezra, I gotta ask you this, man. How did you get started with being the voice of the Lumberjacks? I mean, you don't just you don't just go, "Hey, I'll do it,"
Yeah.
and then you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, how did you get to be the voice of the Lumberjacks, man?
Going back and looking at it's so funny to know how big Pete Herms, our owner, has been in my career, and I'm right at the start of it, and I'm hoping it's a long one, and I'm hoping it's a fruitful one. But to this point, Pete Herms and Lumberjacks have been awesome. So they that became a marriage of sorts back in 2022 in December. Pete purchased the team, and one of the things that was big for him was a high quality broadcast, something that he could enjoy watching from home in New Jersey. And so when Pete took over the ownership of the team, they posted the job, and I was working in the North American League with the Northeast Generals, which is a top tier organization at that level. And so they empowered me to kind of build a bit of a reel and a base. And so I moved on, and when the job opened up in Muskegon, the Generals put me in a good position to put my best foot forward for the Lumberjacks position.
And apparently, you successfully put that good foot forward because now here you are wearing the crest on your little,
Yeah.
all right, okay, all right, all right. That's awesome, man. So now since 2002, you've been the voice there in Muskegon, right?
Yeah, so I got to the team. So it was early 2023. I
Okay.
got the job. They offered me the job on a Thursday afternoon in the middle of February, and I packed my life up in my car. My dog out here now that you can hear shaking behind me. And drove out on Sunday. So it was a super quick transition. I had everything packed up before I even stepped foot in Michigan for the first time. So
Very
it was
nice.
awesome and very very risky move, but it's paid off in spades for sure.
You know, man, I got to tell you something, man. That takes what the Greek call thrustles,
Okay.
guts, right?
Yep.
All
Yeah.
right. Okay. And I can seriously relate to that because I did the same thing to be a chef, and I went down to the Virgin Islands,
Yep.
and I spent 3 wonderful years down there, and it was just amazing. You know, it was one of those things where you could have never have selected something like that before. You know what I mean? And so you're in your dream job now, right?
I am the position with the Lumberjacks, right? So I'm the voice of the Jacks, which we talked about before we got on, is just awesome to say. But really, the position is helping the guys, right, and reach their potential and realize their dreams of going to the NHL and playing Division I college hockey and doing so effectively. So we look at it where everybody in Muskegon, whether you're a player, the trainer, the coach, the broadcaster, the sales rep, everybody's here to grow and get better and get to that next level. So the more I help the guys grow, in the best ways I can, the more I can grow, and that's a dream position where everybody's pulling the rope in the same direction.
You know, that's another reason why I wanted to talk to you, Ezra, because way back, gosh, what are we, about a year ago now, where you and I hooked up, and through email, and I was able to get Tynan Lawrence
Yeah,
as a Prospect Watch alum, right? And this was right when Tynan had just joined the Lumberjacks, right?
yep,
And you were the one that got everything set up. You were the one that I was the email contact with you. You made everything happen, and it was beautiful, and it was great. And I've always remembered that. You know what I mean? I've always kept that in the back of my mind. I'm just like, man, really wish I could meet this guy because. And I've
hmm
listened to some of your games, you know. So that's another thing that's part of what you're doing is you're helping to set some of these interviews up. You're not only the voice of the Lumberjacks, but you're also kind of like the media coordinator,
yep.
right, for the team, correct?
Yeah, all players and staff, the like interviews will go through me. So with guys like Tynan, I mean, everybody wants to talk to Tynan. He's a pretty popular guy. He loves to talk. He talks very well. We've got some other players in the facility. You know, Rudy Burzcons is starting to get there too, where everybody wants to talk to Rudy, and his draft stock is rising. But we have some other draft eligibles that, you know, they deserve to have their voices heard and deserve to get the buzz a little bit and get some attention. So most of my job is making sure that we're getting our guys the attention they deserve.
And all I can tell you, Ezra, is you tell me who they are and bring them.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay, seriously, man, I am not kidding you. I will talk to any one of the players there from the Lumberjacks, man, because I've got a chance now to talk to a couple of different players from around the league, that have played in the United States Hockey League. I talked to guys from Dubuque.
hmm
You know what I mean? I've talked to guys now from Muskegon, and I've talked to guys, you know what I mean, from the United States National Development Program. You know what I mean? And the one thing that I can honestly say is the the bottom line for everybody, and that's exactly with what you said. And it's about getting the kids to the next level,
Yep.
right? And so, and I love the fact that you pointed out that not just, the coach, but the sales rep, okay, the secretary, the guy that's sweeping the halls, Right? Yeah, I mean, everybody's there to try to help make it better for these kids.
Yeah, and it might not seem like it's a direct correlation, right? But in Muskegon, the way we look at it is our guys should be playing in front of 18,000 people, right? So it's really hard to play in front of 18,000 people when you've never played in front of three. So we've got a 3,500 seat arena. We try and make it as loud as possible. It helps
Yep.
out with wins and losses, but it helps prepare the guys for big crowds and playing in big moments. So the ticket sales rep has a lot to do, but even monetarily wise, right? We try and provide our players as much as we can to help them grow and help them develop and succeed. So when we get some ticket sales in there doing great, some sponsorship money in, that just means more that we can provide our players.
And that's the other thing too. When you start talking about these kids, you start talking about billet moms, billet families,
Yeah,
billet dads and stuff like that. And they take a brunt of the expense for the guys. Do you know what I mean? To be there and to play there, in Muskegon, in Dubuque, I mean, you pick a city. You know what I mean?
yeah,
There's billet families for all these kids to stay so they can play there at this, at these top flight, hockey programs. You know what I mean? And that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to kind of. I know we're getting a little bit off track here, a little bit here, but I know that the landscape of junior hockey is going to drastically change after this season
yeah,
because of the collective bargaining agreement and all of the other agreements that have all taken place and things of that nature. And I really feel that the United States Hockey League is on the cusp of something really brilliant. And it's guys like you and teams like the Lumberjacks that are going to be able to push the United States hockey over the ledge.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. And that's our goal, right? We look to be the best that we can be at where we're at. So, Pete Herms, I mentioned how big he is for me. He's the
Exactly.
greatest owner in all of sports. So it's pretty unheard of that junior hockey teams fly by plane for a lot of games. Anything that we're eligible to fly to, Pete has said, you know what? He's putting his money where his mouth is. He wants to be the best. He wants to provide the best. So now we're flying to any trip that we're eligible to fly to per league rules, and we follow the rules just like everybody else. But Pete wants to be, head and shoulders above the rest and drive the league in a positive direction. So if we can do that, then that's what we're looking to do, and we're doing that by providing the best opportunity for our players.
Well, providing some of the best opportunity for the players, what's it doing for your team? It's drawing some of the top
Yes.
flight talent to come to the team. How's your co-host doing?
She's good. She's good. Yeah, we're in our little home office. So we just moved in. I just bought a house here in Muskegon. So
Okay,
all the by the ceiling, right? We're still finishing up the office and decorating all that stuff. So
there you go.
we don't spend too much time down here just yet. So
Okay, we're working on
yeah.
it. But speaking of all of the great opportunities that Muskegon is providing for its players, it's drawing some top flight talent now to the team. I mean, Tynan
Yeah.
Lawrence was a huge draw, and the fact that he was allowed to go to his college team speaks volumes about the organization, about the Lumberjacks, about the ownership, about what they're trying to do, about the fact that they are looking out for the best interest of the kids. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
speaking of some of
We
that, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, don't get me wrong. We would love to have, first overall, the NHL GM get up in front of everybody and say, from the Muskegon Lumberjacks, Tyner Lawrence, right? Like
Right.
that's a great thing to say. And draft people will say from now for the rest of the time that Tyner Lawrence is a draft pick from Boston University. And when you talk direct numbers, some people are gonna say that he's not directly from the Lumberjacks. But I'll be honest with you, like he's a lumberjack, right? You look
Okay.
at where kind of was and how he's developed, and how his draft ranking has just skyrocketed since last year and that Clark Cup performance specifically.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we want to let the player make decisions that they feel are best for their career. And, Tynan felt that going to BU early would put him in the best position to battle for that number one position and number one spot, help him progress to the NHL. So, all the power to him. Good luck and make us proud.
I mean, and he is, right? Because he's being very productive. He's got points
Yes.
already. He's been playing very well. I mean, they've got him paired up with some good guys. So, he went to a pretty good college. I mean, geez.
Decent school. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're the Gennello household is a Boston University family. My mom went to BU in the 80s, with Mike Eruzione and that old crew.
Oh,
So
yeah, there you go.
uh, we grew up big Terrier fans for sure. So Tynan
Well,
had a special place in the Gennello family heart.
there you go. There you go. That's awesome, man. I can't wait to watch him. And there's a couple other guys that I know that were Prospect Watch alums. They're going to possibly be playing in some Beanpot games here coming up next year
Yeah.
or the year after. I'm like, woo, I'm excited about some of that, boy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of all that, I wanted to get to this question here. We kind of got off on a tangent, but the fact that the ownership is doing all these great things and being able to provide this top flight facility, top flight arena, flying players back and forth. Now you're attracting players like a Tynan Lawrence and a Zach Carbonneau.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. How exciting is that, right?
wow. I mean, I got to talk to Zach, man, 6, 7, 8, 9 months ago, maybe 10 months ago. I got to talk to him, and I got to tell you, man, I like, I think he's one of those up and comers. I mean, I just have this knack for picking these guys for
Mhm.
some reason. Tynan Lawrence, Matthew
We
Schaefer.
should put you on the scouting department. When we get going to the drafts, we should have you in the war room.
Bring it, bring it.
Yeah.
I'm down. I'm
Yeah.
down. I got an eye, man. And I can take pictures too. So
For
anyway.
sure. I love that.
But Zach Carbonneau committed to the Muskegon Lumberjacks. What an awesome, awesome win! That kid. I gotta tell you, man, uh, where he's coming from, where he's played, and now the fact that he's going to be in the United States Hockey League with the Muskegon. I mean, wowzers! That's a big coup for especially for you guys. Holy moly!
Yeah. Well, I mean, talking to him, he and I spoke a little bit, and he said it wasn't really something that he was thinking about when he started this season. And as the season went on, hockey games are being played, and he's playing really well and really well and really well. You're going to attract attention from a lot of high-end organizations, and the Lumberjacks were one of those organizations that expressed interest. And so we set up a time. We brought him out to Muskegon, him and his family, and his younger brother was there, and it
Oh,
really
nice.
they fit in with the Lumberjacks family so well. Um, it's actually kind of cool. His younger brother was actually up in the press box during one of the games. So Saturday night we're playing Fargo, and his younger brother is sitting next to me with our goalie coach. Right, so they brought him in. He got to experience a weekend in Muskegon. Got to experience a great series of hockey. We played Fargo for 2 games. Mom and dad were there. He was there. He was in the room with the fellas. He was hanging out. I think he was hanging out with Tynan a lot that weekend.
Yeah.
And that's a kid and that's a family that we're really excited to have a part of our Lumberjacks family because the personalities wise, like they're unreal people. He's a great hockey player for sure, but people come first, and that's a great group in the Carbonell family.
I mean, I got a chance to meet him and talk to him. He's another Prospect Watch alum. I mean, that's
Yep.
why I was like, when I found out and I saw the picture up there that he was committed to go to Muskegon, I was like, oh, man, do you guys got a real good player?
Yep.
Holy moly. I mean, the kid's got all the tools and he just oozes coachability,
Yep.
right? Doesn't he?
He does. I know Colton St. Clair, our head coach, is really jazzed up to get to work with him. Taylor Ward, who runs our forward group here in Muskegon, he's really jazzed up. You know, those are two guys that, with Zach in town, right? You're talking about what development looks like and how you're going to develop in Muskegon, and he's meeting and talking with our strength and conditioning coaches and our director of sports science, and our trainer and everybody who's going to help him develop. Family came in, spoke with the entire business staff too. So he's a great kid. He seems like he's going to be really great to work with on a media side as well as on a hockey
Yes.
side. So
Yes.
yeah, just the excitement of bringing a player and a kid and a person like Zach into our organization is just something that, you know, I told you when I hear I'm the voice of the Lumberjacks and I say it over and over, I smile, right? Like you just smile when you get to think about the fact that you get to work with players like Zach Carbonell.
Or that you get to attract players like a Zach
Yeah,
Carbonneau, right? The fact that his whole family came there, it doesn't surprise me one little bit. The fact that his family was very much involved in him choosing where he was going to go. I mean, that does not surprise me one little bit. Um, his mom and family are very, very deeply entrenched into what he's doing, you know. And that's it. That's it's kind of funny that you look at players that come in and then you see like the younger brothers or the older brothers, or the brothers usually end up following.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm going to Muskegon because my brother played there, right? Or
You know what's cool is his line mate at Mount, his best friend is Thomas Poivert. So Sasha was here, and so
yeah.
I keep saying to our business staff, I won't say this to Steve Lowe, our president, who does a phenomenal job, but I keep like nudging elbows, like how sick would it be to get another Poivert in here, right? Like get the two line mates from Mount.
Wink, wink,
How
nudge,
cool would that
nudge.
be? Yeah,
Look, anybody that goes to Mount is that school, that facility, that program. Like we've interviewed quite a few guys from
yeah,
that have gone through there. You know what I mean? And that tells you something, right? That because that's really good stuff right there. Now I want to talk about another player, quick briefly, that's now committed to coming to Muskegon as well, and that's Carter Amico.
yeah.
Is now committed to playing for Muskegon, and man, I gotta tell you, that's holy moly.
Well,
I
it's the first
mean,
senior hockey, college hockey trade ever, right?
holy moly. All right, yeah, you guys are serious business, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first and foremost, right? So the goal is to develop hockey players, but a very close second goal is winning championships. So you get
Hello.
a guy like Carter to come in for the second half of the season, and your chances of winning a Clark Cup again, they skyrocket. Carter is an unbelievable hockey player. Again, another great human being. I actually just had him up in the press box today for an interview. Great
Nice.
with the media stuff, but you look at him and kind of his path, and everybody's path is different. He has two bad injuries
Yeah.
the last 2 years, lower body
Yeah.
injuries, his knees, which are always a tough thing, right? So you go to BU and maybe it's not the freshman year you're looking for. How about the maturity on the player to recognize that and say, you know what, I am going to go back to the USHL. I'm going to develop a little bit more, and I'm going to come back to BU and I'm going to dominate. And to be so mature to do that is unreal.
You know, Prospect Watch got to a interview Aiden Park, and he was another player that did exactly that. He was
Mm-hmm.
skipped over his initial draft year,
Yep.
right? And then went back and played and dominated, killed it, right? And then got drafted the following year.
Yep.
Okay. So it does take a very special player to recognize, hey, I still need da 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 da. You know what I mean? I still need to be able to do some of these things. Let me go somewhere where I can help develop these things, where I can get some good coaching and
Mm-hmm.
get developed so that I can get to that next level, so that I can play at that next level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and he comes in and he goes, he wasn't getting a ton of playing time in BU, right? It's a very good program, right? They're a good hockey team. Their captain, Gavin McCarthy, played here in Muskegon. Sasha's
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Tyne is there now. So great relationships between, I'm sure, Jay Pandolfo and Steve Lowe and Colton. So um, that's a great relationship. But for Carter or Miko, you come in and now you're running the power play unit, right? He's up on the top of the blue line, top of the umbrella, running the power play. He's getting top D pair minutes every night. So for a guy that hasn't gotten to play a ton of hockey the last 2 years, he's coming in. He's playing north of 20 minutes every night. He's going to get his jam back on the back end. He's going to win a Clark Cup championship, and he's going to go back to BU, and he's going to be an All-American as a Terrier in the Hockey East.
There you go. And see, I love that attitude. I
Mm-hmm.
love that attitude about, hey, you know what? So we don't care. We'll take a Clark Cup championship, but we're going to develop a really good player. So,
For sure.
well, folks, I got to tell you what here, man. I think we got a really great show here with the voice of the Muskegon Lumberjacks, Mr. Ezra Gennello. Man, thank you so much for doing the show here, man, for taking the time, for carving some time out of your very, very busy schedule. Thank you so much for doing this, man. I really appreciate that. Um, what's next for the Lumberjacks? What are the next couple games upcoming for you guys?
Yeah, so we have actually a mini playoff series coming up here in the regular season. We go to Plymouth on Friday. Actually, we take on the 18s, and then we play Saturday, Sunday in Chicago, and then next week we have Friday, Saturday against Chicago at home. So it gives the guys a bit of a taste of what a best of four series can look like.
There you go, for sure. And it's a bit of a home at home kind of thing where you play two games there and then you come back and play two games here in Muskegon. Yeah, all right.
Exactly.
And look, Chicago Steel, man, some of the best teams out there. You guys play against some of the best talent out there, and that's what this is all about. That's what the United States Hockey League is all about, is trying
For
to
sure.
produce some of the best talent. So, thank you very much for all you do for Muskegon, Ezra. Thank you very much, sir. Really appreciate that. Where can we follow you? Where can we get information about you, and how can we get a hold of the Muskegon Lumberjacks?
Well, for starters, you want to watch our games on Flow Hockey. We love our partners at Flow; they do a phenomenal job. Mixler, we also have a radio feed, but on social media, it's just my name, right? Ezra Gennello. Just keep it simple. But really, just the Muskegon Jacks, right? At Muskegon Jacks on social media. I will hopefully have a long and fruitful and illustrious career, but the focus is on the guys. So it's not my social media account you should follow. It's the Lumberjacks because they're doing some unbelievable things and some great players. Whether it's in the past with Sasha and Tynan and Voslov and Matt Vey and all bona fide first round picks, and the current Rudy Burzcons, who I think is going to sneak into that late first round.
I think so too.
Um,
Yeah,
and the future Zach Charbonneau and some unbelievable hockey players that will be making their way to Muskegon here in the future. So you want to follow them at Muskegon Jacks on social media.
for sure, for sure. Thank you very much for tuning in and checking us out, man. You can catch us on social at Prospect Watch 23. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram. Also, don't forget to check us out on the YouTube channel as well and on Facebook. And you can check me out at RNJ underscore media on X. Thank you all very much for watching Prospect Watch. We will catch you all on the next one.